Hey guys, it's your girl Corporate Carolyn, and I'm wrapping up yet another work day. And I had a thought because someone responded to one of my videos and she left a comment like, what do you do when you're an introvert if you're trying to find a man or a husband? Not sure which one she's looking for, maybe boyfriend, husband, not sure, but it really doesn't matter. If you are an introvert, you can still meet somebody and fall in love and live happily ever after. I mean, people do it all the time. I'm not probably the best person to speak because I'm not an introvert. I can be alone, but if you put me somewhere, I'm talking and I'm chatting. In fact, that's how I met my husband, by noticing that he had green eyes when I turned around, and I just said, "Oh my goodness, you have the most beautiful eyes I've ever seen. Would you like to dance?" And then now, 32 plus years marriage later and 2 kids, I'm really glad that I'm more of an extrovert because, as it turns out, my husband is an introvert. And it was funny, as we were dating back in college, I would literally have to rehearse what we were going to talk about, because if I called him and relied on his sparkling conversation skills back in the day, we would have been off the phone in 5 minutes. And that was when people had, landlines. No one had a cell phone. And so I would write down different conversation points to cover, like when the conversation would die. And then I said, "Oh yeah, well, what about this? You had a soccer game, right? And blah, blah, blah." And then, he'd give me a few, short answers about that. Then I'm like, okay, what next? So I would have a script of things to keep the conversation going for longer than 10 minutes. And so then once we got to know each other, he talked more. But in the beginning, I was just like talking and talking like I do here. You can see I'm a talker. And so, but anyway, so if he were to make a video and say, "What do you do as an introvert?" I don't know what he would say, but what I'm thinking, trying to put myself into his shoes, is, and what I would do if I didn't like to talk as much. One thing that I do, even as an extrovert, and when I don't feel like fooling with people, I smile a lot. And so when I see someone, if they make eye contact with me, I smile. And I think that that's a friendly thing to do. I mean, it's not like necessarily flirting or anything. I just do it. If anybody makes eye contact with me, then the next thing you know, I'm smiling. And one of my sons said that's kind of sketch, that you're always smiling at people. And even a cousin I was in the mall with, she was like, "Why are you saying hi to that person?" I'm like, "Because they made eye contact with me." And it makes sense. So what I'm going to suggest is, even though you're not a person who would talk someone's head off, you're not bold enough to ask someone to dance, I would say go out of your way to start, maybe making eye contact with people that you might be interested in. Even if you just like do a quick, eye hit, and then maybe just a smile, and just build yourself up from there. And I think the more you do that, the more comfortable you'll be with making eye contact with people. And it's funny, that's how I raise my children. Like when you go in a store, make eye contact with the person that works there. Just say, "Hey, how are you doing?" That will, one, because they're black males, make people more comfortable with you. I thought that was definitely one of the advantages, but also it just makes people more comfortable. People tend to be nicer to you, tell you about things they wouldn't ordinarily tell you about. So that's what I would probably suggest that an introvert do. One, look your best. Obviously, I think anybody should do that. When you go out into the street, you never know who you're going to meet. So if you're trying to meet somebody, have your best look together, that you want to be seen in, and that'll boost your confidence. You'll feel really, really good. And then so part 2 would be, if you see someone of interest and you don't feel bold enough to go up and talk to them, then I would just say, how about you just make eye contact with them, and then maybe give one of your little shy smiles, and, go off and do whatever you were doing as you passed them, and maybe just keep your eye on them. See if they're actually with someone. And, if they wind up being at a point where they're making eye contact again, maybe just make that little eye contact. Don't act all goofy and crazy, but, even if you just like, look up like that, and then give them not the crazy toothy smile that I'm giving, because that's what I run around doing. Even if you just did like a little smile like that, whatever you feel comfortable with. And then, like, if you get bold enough, if you see the person is leaving and they're by themselves and it looked like they were smiling at you and they're not bold enough to say anything, maybe make up a reason to ask a question. Like, do you know what time it is? Let's see. How was that drink you had? I saw that you were drinking blah, blah, blah. Or you had the wings. How were they? Just do something innocuous that might strike up a little conversation. And then if that person is interested, then maybe they'll take it from there. But just little baby steps. But they all start with you looking the absolute best that you can look when you're out in these streets. And then two, try to do a little smile or eye contact with the person and see where it goes from there. Those would be my first steps for an introvert to, try to find their Mr. Right. And hopefully that helps. If not, let me know, and I'll try to think of what step 3 and step 4 might be, and I'll try to live vicariously through introverts, even though I'm not an introvert. But I could probably maybe try to think of some more if you need it. But hopefully that helps. If it doesn't, let me know, and I'll be happy to think of something else. But in the meantime, I hope you guys have the best day and evening that you possibly can, and I look forward to sharing more videos with you in the very near future. Until the next time, have a good one.